This is my E36 M3. It's a 4-door. I bought it last year when I lived in Florida. Now I don't live in Florida anymore. As you can hear the heater working. It's about 36 degrees today. But very clean car, very solid car. And I am currently in the process of making this into my new drift car. I'll do a quick little walk around the car itself, tell you a little about it. I just got these wheels. These are Vorse, nothing special. They are 17 by 9 in size, plus 30 on the offset, front and back. These are 225 45 17s. I wanted 225 35s, but those are impossible to find right now. They fit great, as you can see. The car is in the air, so there's a little slop to the suspension. Obviously, the front as well fits great. Especially once I install the angle kit today, I will have more camber. I do have BC Racing coilovers on it anyways, with adjustability. These are the wheels right here. They're about 800 bucks. They come in 5x120 and 5x114. That's one of the reasons I wanted them, so I can just switch up, change them how I want. On this car, on a different car, if I go 5x114, I don't have to get different wheels. I didn't want to ruin the original M3 wheels, so for 800 bucks, I ended up getting those. Maybe I'll get 2 more just to have extra. Here's the inside of the car. I purchased it right before the prices went super crazy. So the car, I bought it in Lakeland, Florida. It spent most of its life in Miami, Florida. It went to Tampa, and the guy purchased it that lives in Lakeland. So it was in Lakeland for about 3 years. I moved down to Tampa, Florida, and I ended up purchasing it from the guy. He's a IT guy down there. Took really good care of it. He has shops, do everything. It's a little messy. I had my baby car seat in there. That's why I wanted a 4-door. I ended up getting this car for a good price. It was repainted. Believe it or not, this is a Mako paint job. They actually did a pretty good job. This is how the back of it looks. When I purchased it, it had about 190,000 miles. And miles don't scare me. I care about how the car looks and cleanliness. If it's clean, I do not care about miles. If it's a rusty shit box. The only rusty part on this car is this muffler that he put on here. Other than that, this car is mint. Absolutely clean. It has about 200,000 miles on it now because I daily drove it in Florida for about a year. Let me show you here. There's a lot of nice things that he did to it. M50 manifold swap, and yes, it's original M3. Sway bars, X brace, BC Racing coilovers. The car is in great shape. And no, I don't want to buy some sort of a beater to learn to drift. Or I mean, I already know how to drift, but never on the E36. So I didn't want to buy a beater because I don't want to spend half of my day messing with seized bolts and all that stupid shit. So, God, I haven't opened the hood in so long. That's what she looks like. Right there. Canon intake. Very basic. M50 manifold. The head on this car was rebuilt about 7,000 miles ago. New head gasket, ARP head studs, Mishimoto radiator and expansion tank, BCs front and back. It has new valves, everything was redone. So I got this car for a steal compared to what they go for now. The guy didn't really, even at the time, keep up with the market on them. This extended shifter, just a cheapo shifter I put in. I wanted to try it out, but it has a lot of slop in it, so I will be upgrading that. The car came with the Corvette seats with Corvette rails, sliding rails, so it's nice. You know, I can give my car to my friends, they can drive it. That's a extra large right there. And this, I believe, is a medium or a small. I gotta check the tag. Sparkle steering wheel, M3 clutcher, original. I gotta show you guys how clean the underbody of this thing is. I've always drifted really clean cars. My last car was a really clean, if you looked at my previous videos, it was a really clean 240 with an RB25 that I had fully built. Threw that in there, and I ended up selling it right before I moved down to Florida. And then I purchased a GS300 with a 2JZ in it. Traded that for a Mark 6 GTI, sold that, and then I purchased this. So in a way, I sort of got this car for free. But yeah, let's start on it. I haven't worked on this thing since I bought it. I haven't done anything to it. It's just been great, been reliable. I've had no issues with it. I did end up purchasing the budget, in a way, angle kit. I just got the E36 control arms, and I wanted E36 control arms because if I do snap one, damage one, I want to be able to go to like AutoZone or Riley's and just purchase another control arm. These right here from Driftmax, these were probably the most expensive of the part of it. Well, the lollipops, but yeah, these are Driftmax, and they make these knuckles just for the M3s because my knuckles are different, so you can't just use like an eBay setup. It won't work, so you gotta have specific M3 ones. These are the lollipops to convert into having the E46 control arm on your car. These things right here, and the lollipop will slide right on there. It saves you from having to press bushings out of your E36 ones and press E46 ones in. This will just slide right up in there. Saves me a lot of time, and it looks nicer too. Alright, so this is the knuckle spacer. See, M3, 25% more lock from Driftmax. I believe these were about $100. Now, with my M3 lower control arm, let's say I just smack this piece on, just like that, it would relocate my tie rod from going here to here, and I would get 25% more lock, and that would be that. But I am switching the lower control arm for the E46 one because it is longer, so I will get more camber out of that, and I'll get more angle as well. So we should be able to get about 60 degrees all in all with this. Alright, here's the E46 lower control arm with the lollipop on it. These are sort of a bitch to get on, but you just gotta grease it and hammer it, and then you gotta adjust it, the straightness to fit right there. Once you got this like that, most of these E46 control arms are really thick. These aftermarket ones, seems like that it's thicker than the OEM. So you gotta grind that down a little bit. Just like right here down the center of it. You gotta grind that down because it will hit your disc, and it will cause braking issues. So let's grind that down a little bit. All right, first side is done. All right, first side is done. I just did the driver's side. As you can see, I used a little bit of red Loctite. I did on this one and the other one. This piece right here has grooves in it, so it sort of cuts into the knuckle and it holds, but Loctite is always safer. This side too, lower control arm. I put red Loctite on that one as well. There's actually more thread than it looks like on these, because they're actually tapered, as you can see. It's tapered, so it goes down a lot further than what it looks like. And so is the nut. So don't get scared about that. Also, on the E36 control arm, some of them come with the spacer that goes on the bottom of the control arm. I tried with that on this way actually, and I jacked up the control arm and I was able to move the knuckle a little bit, so that means it wasn't sitting properly. So I did take this one off. I'm gonna take it off on the other side too. See? And there's the first one, M3, outer tie rod, inner tie rod. I didn't change those. I gotta put the sway bar end link back on and the bolts, but you can already tell how much better that is, how much more angle it's going to have. I hope I'm satisfied with this, and you know, if I break something, AutoZone, 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 it don't matter, you know, just auto parts store, run there quick and fix your car. All right, so here's the finished product. I did put on my steer tires, which are more of a stretch than my rear tires. As you can see, basically right now all you can get is the Acelera, if that's how you pronounce it. That's basically like the only tire you can get, and the Achilles. Other than that, getting really tires is a bitch right now. But I wanted to test out, because my wheels are 17x9, I wanted to test out what size I liked more. So those are 225/45. As you can see, they're nice and meaty. Very, very mildish stretch, just top of the sidewall. They fit in the back really, really good. No spacer, like I said, 17x9 plus 30 on the offset. For the front, I wanted to stretch a little bit more just to see how that would work. So 225/35, and it's a huge difference. Just 225/35, 225/45, huge difference. So I might run 235/40 to be like in the middle. I honestly did not think it would make this big of a difference in just that little bit, but it sure did. It's a lot thinner of a tire, so height of the car is going to be a little bit weird, but yeah, this is full lock right now. As you can see, I did reinstall my sway bar and sway bar end link. Everything is connected. I'm not having any sort of issues hitting, as you can see. Poor light, but the wheel's not hitting the inside of that control arm, which happens often, and that did happen to me until I adjusted the tie rod. The adjustment was just way off. Other than that, you can either cut the heat shield just a little bit on the rotor, and grind down that lower control arm, which you have to do so it doesn't rub. This is it, full lock. Everything looks okay. The other side as well. I'd say that's a good amount of angle to learn my car. I never drifted a E36, only 240s. For, I mean, the budget of it and simplicity of installing it and getting replacement parts, which, you know, of course I will be hitting shit. So let's go back on the other side. Cold ass bushings. Everything's just so cold. These things are just creaking. I think I would get more angle if I did take the sway bar off or readjusted it. Definitely would get more angle, I believe, because the end link is basically what's stopping it. As you can see how much tension is on it. It's connected to the control arm, and that is basically what's stopping it. But right now I sort of want it like that, so I have a stopper. Spot number 2 that usually hits would be right here on the side of the frame. As you can see, it's not hitting. I have a half inch spacer on this wheel, so same as the rear, 17x9, half-inch spacer, 17x9.5. So it's definitely not touching that frame. Even if I didn't have the spacer, half inch, it still would not touch. But if I did have that 45 up here with no spacer, I think that it would touch. But yeah, that's how it looks right now. I like it. It's perfect to learn on. A lot of people are drifting with no angle kits at all. I just like to start off with an angle kit right away. Who cares? It means I should be spitting out less. But yeah, if you have any other questions about my M3 cooling system, anything like that, I will be upgrading my shifter. But if you have any questions relating to it, just comment. The back end, I purchased a 3.91. I will be welding that. It still has the M3 def in the back. It's about a 25% lock. Not enough. This car, super clean as you can see. It still has the original cats on it. So I do want to chop those and put resonators instead. That way if I do get it tuned, I don't have to do that later. Otherwise, I don't really mind cats. It's okay for low end torque. But yeah, like the video and I'll make more.